YouTube.
What's up, good people of YouTube? It's me, Chavez, and in today's video, we're breaking down rookie cards for 3 players you ought to be investing in right now.
Who said you couldn't be the grass, knock 'em out like Tyson, be rich and famous, get cars, put Primo in the tank.
All right, now that the stage is set, we're kicking things off with CJ Stroud. And listen, I'll be the first to admit, as a Houston Texans fan, he did not have the best year, struggled throughout the year, ended on a super bad note. 2024 was a bit of a letdown in terms of those expectations. However, CJ Stroud finds himself right back in the playoffs, improving his playoff record to 2-1. And despite the struggles, he's still regarded as one of the top young quarterbacks in the league. All right, as we talk about CJ Stroud and a couple of his rookie cards, I want to start this off by just saying CJ Stroud is a player that I really like in this current market because his rookie cards tend to hold their value really well. Right now, we're looking at this NFL debut in a pink camo parallel in a PSA 10 slab, and we can see the last sale was for $45.49, but I do believe that we see a new floor here in just a few days in that $50 to $55 range once the numbers change and once that victory against the Chargers is also taken into account. I think that's going to increase some prices here, but getting this card in that $50 range is still a pretty good price point. I think it's kind of low in my opinion, and it gives us some easy exposure to his rookie cards in a slab. Now, if you're looking to truly embrace the card hustle, then you're going to want to look at this very card, but in raw formats. And the reason I say that is buying it at the lowest price possible allows us the highest return on our investment. So we can see that the last sale for this card was at $8.27. But when we take into account the playoff victory and once these numbers are updated, I think we see a new floor for this card somewhere in that $12 to $15 range. Now, whether you have this card in raw format and you're considering getting it graded, and in the event it comes back a 10, or if you're already sitting on this card in the PSA 10, I think this is a hold. I don't think we look to sell or flip it right now because, in my opinion, we have yet to see a true ceiling on this card. Let's take a look at this 2023 downtown insert because this shows a pretty up and down price point here on this graph, but this gets me to another thing that I really like about CJ Stroud, and that's that we don't see the market typically overreact and we don't see the market stay down on him for very long. So there are 2 examples here that we're seeing with this card where the market dipped and bounced back. And so let's take a look at the first dip on December 21st. We saw this card dip down to $8.55, but just one day later on December 22nd, it bounced back up to $9.15, held steady with a slight increase, and then we see this huge roller coaster drop down to $710. But just 10 days later, we see a bounce back all the way up to $898. And I love seeing this because I never want a market that's too hard on a player's cards. I don't want to see those prices get inflated, and I don't want to see those rookie cards be devalued. So I want that market right in the middle and holding steady. And in my opinion, CJ Stroud has a market like that, which is very exciting because this makes him an excellent investment for those looking for long-term value, especially as he gains more recognition as one of the top young quarterbacks in the league. In my opinion, the Houston Texans have a bright future. CJ Stroud has a bright future, and he absolutely deserves to be in your collection moving forward. All right, we move on from one Texan to another Texan, and we're talking about Nico Collins. So going into the 23-24 season, Nico Collins was not a household name. In fact, very few people outside the Texans organization knew who he was, but he delivered with 80 receptions, 1,297 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns. And while injuries really limited his play in 2024, he still managed to get over 1,000 yards for the second straight year and finish the year with 7 touchdowns. And what I like about investing in Nico Collins is we're really investing in Nico Collins and CJ Stroud because as Stroud continues to develop and mature, Nico should remain his top receiving target and honestly emerge as one of the top 3 receivers in the NFL. So let's take a look at some of his top performing rookie cards so you can start adding some to your collection now. All right, let's talk about Nico Collins, and let's start off with his top performing card over the last 30 days. This 2021 Prism Blue Wave rookie card number to 199, and we can see a huge increase in price, a 33% jump from December 19th to January 9th. This one sold for $45. You can see back in December, this one sold for $30. So people, well, at least that person wanted to get in on Nico Collins and was able to do so and do it at around $50. But one thing I like about this card, and at first I didn't like it, but now that I'm looking at this chart, I'm starting to like it, is the fact that we don't have a lot of price points for PSA 10s or PSA 9s for this card. And what that's telling me is there aren't a lot of people out there willing to invest in Nico Collins right now. Now you might be asking yourself, why is that a good thing? Well, because he still remains unknown in some ways, and he's not a household name, which keeps his price point at a low. Now, as we scroll down here, I just want to show you what some people are trying to sell this same card for: $180, $180, $199. So you got to be careful out there. There are a lot of people trying to capitalize on his most recent performance. So you got to stay true to the numbers here. Don't get sucked in by all this hype. As we scroll down, and we can take a look at some of Nico Collins' more popular cards here. However, the card that I really want to focus on, I wasn't able to find it over on sportscardinvestor.com. So let's head over to the Card Ladder app, and I'll pull up this 2021 Donruss Press Proof Premium rated rookie for Nico Collins. And you're going to see in raw form, this card is selling for under $5 a lot of the time, which is a really friendly price point. I mean, if you're looking for some really easy exposure to Nico Collins and his rookie cards, this is where you start. Now, when we search this card in a PSA 10 slab, you're going to see a completely different price point. You're going to see a lot of these cards selling for over $50, which shows you the price point has definitely changed on the market. When you put it in a slab, people value this card. It shows you the upside that Nico Collins has. It shows you the upside and the potential that his rookie cards have. So whether you know who Nico Collins is or you've never heard of him, you owe it to yourself right now. Go out there and scoop up some of these underpriced, undervalued rookie cards and add them to your collection today. What's up, everybody? I'm interrupting my own damn video to ask you a question. Are you ready to take your sports card investments to the next level? If you answered yes, then you're going to want to download my brand new free PDF guide called Card Investing Made Easy. Inside, you'll learn expert tips when it comes to selecting, grading, and investing in the best sports cards. So go ahead and visit my website, CarddIQ.com, and download your free PDF guide today. Now back to the show. All right, and for player number 3 on this list, we're talking about Lamar Jackson, the NFL's reigning MVP. Now, coming into this season, Lamar Jackson was expected by many to take a statistical hit with the addition of Derrick Henry. But in fact, it was quite the opposite that happened. With the addition of Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson was able to preserve his health, and he went on to have the best season of his career, posting personal best numbers in passer rating, touchdowns thrown, and passing yards. Now, while many are projecting Josh Allen to win this year's MVP, it's Lamar Jackson who is flying under the radar and making a strong push for his second consecutive MVP award. Now, if the Ravens go on to make it to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, Lamar Jackson's rookie cards will see an even greater surge. Let's take a look at a couple of his top performing rookie cards right now. All right, let's talk Lamar Jackson rookie cards. I have this 2018 Prism rookie intro on the screen. This is also a silver Prism. I want to show you a few sales in the PSA 10 slab to give you an idea of what this card's ceiling is, but I don't think it's done moving just yet. But right now we're looking at a ceiling of about $175, up $85 in the last 30 days, all the way up from 90 to 175. Now, if you're looking to embrace the card hustle like I am, then you're going to want to purchase this card raw, ungraded, send it in for grading yourself, and hopefully come back with a PSA 10. That way you can maximize the ROI. And if you're looking to do that, it's going to cost you about $25 to $30, maybe a little bit more, but in or around that range. You can see in the last 30 days, we've seen a mini sales in that $30 range, $30 to $25 range, except for this one right here, $9. $9.50 makes me feel like somebody just listed this card way too low and somebody snatched it up pretty quick, or it was an auction that didn't get enough bidders and somebody walked away with a really good deal. But nonetheless, this is way too low for Lamar Jackson rookie card. Let's take a look at one more rookie card for Lamar Jackson. It's going to be a rated rookie out of the Optics set, and I want to show you the PSA 10 sales first to give you an idea of what the ceiling is here. Looking at about $240 for this card in the PSA 10 slab. In fact, many of these cards are well over $200, but as Lamar Jackson and the Ravens march through the playoffs, I think we continue to see an increase in his card sales here. Now, again, if you want to embrace that card hustle and maximize your ROI, then you're looking for this card ungraded. And if you're looking to get this, then you're probably going to end up paying about $70 to $80 on this card, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit more, but I don't think you need to be paying $130 for this card, just like this person did. This makes me feel like either an auction went really well and it just took off, or somebody just decided to list this at $130 to see what happens. And what ended up happening was somebody clicked it, took the bait, and bought this card. And in my opinion, they overpaid. So I love Lamar Jackson. I think he's an amazing player, but I think $130 for this card is a little too much. I think $70 to $80 is where this card should be. I think that's what you should be paying for it. Now, whether you're looking at the two cards that we just looked at, or you're looking to add any of these Lamar Jackson rookie cards to your collection, just go do it. At this point, I think it's criminal to not have any Lamar Jackson in your collection. I think it's criminal to not be looking to get some of his rookie cards graded. Right now, he is ascending. He is a top 5 player in the NFL, and you absolutely have to have some of his rookie cards in your collection. So stop what you're doing, go get some today. So when it comes to investing in rookie cards, there are a few key factors that I look for, starting with quarterbacks. I pay attention to the tenure spent with the head coach and offensive coordinator, because I don't want to invest in a quarterback who continues to go through different schemes and year in and year out doesn't know who that head coach is going to be. I also look at how they're building around the quarterback. Are they bringing in weapons year over year to help that quarterback grow? And then lastly, I'm paying attention to that statistical improvement year over year. And with Lamar Jackson, I think he checks all those boxes. He spent his entire career with John Harbaugh. They are bringing in weapons year over year to help him grow. And then lastly, yeah, he's improving year over year statistically as well, because he's coming off the best season of his career in terms of posting personal best numbers in passing yards, passer rating, and touchdowns. With CJ Stroud, it's a little different because we're talking about a quarterback who only has 2 years of NFL experience. However, he already has 2 division titles and 2 playoff wins under his belt. I do think the Texans are invested in him as they continue to bring in talent via free agency, guys like Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon. I think they really need to address their offensive line woes in the offseason via free agency or the NFL draft. And once they do that, I think we see CJ Stroud take it to another level, because it's hard to be back there not knowing where that pressure is going to come from. It's hard to grasp an offense when you don't know what's going to come around the corner. So as soon as they shore up that offensive line, I think we see CJ Stroud take his level of play to the next level. Now with wide receivers, guys like Nico Collins, I look for a couple of different things. I don't really pay attention to the name. I pay more attention to the role that that player has with the team. Are they a top option? Are they a top 2 option on that team? And are they a target monster for that team? And I think Nico Collins, you check the boxes on both of those. Yes, he is a target monster for this team. He is CJ Stroud's number 1 go-to guy. And I also want to actually look at the chemistry and the synergy between the quarterback and the wide receiver, what that relationship is like. And I think they have a pretty good relationship down in Houston. So I think Nico Collins is in a great position to keep emerging as a top talent in the NFL. And I think over the next couple of years, we'll see him emerge as a top 3 receiver in the NFL. Now, all 3 of these players have extremely bright futures, and I do think it might be a little too late to buy low on some of these higher end rookie cards for both Lamar Jackson and CJ Stroud. But the case for Nico Collins is not the same, because we're looking at a market that just hasn't caught up. So whether you're going after Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud, or Nico Collins, I think all 3 of these players are extremely hot candidates to buy now, and they all possess strong long-term investments with high-end flips. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Before I get out of here, do me a favor and leave me a comment below. Just let me know which one of these players you feel has the most upside. And don't forget, if you need help with your card prepping, cleaning, grading, investing tips, you name it, head on over to CarddIQ.com. You can find that link to my website in the description below. I appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget to drop that like, sub up, and click that notification icon. And until my next video, Chavez is out.